All right, guys, so about 5 months ago, I covered Master of Command 7 Years War. This is the newest game from Armchair Historian, who is a prominent history YouTuber, documentary creator. Really great content. Highly recommend it. I've dropped links to his YouTube channel and his website in the video description below. And this is the second iteration of his kind of game development. The first was Fire and Maneuver, if you remember that. Lots of kind of interesting stuff there. Some mistakes were made, which he's kind of learned a lot from, and a lot of those lessons and more he's implementing in this newest effort, essentially, with Master of Command, and it looks really good. The last time I covered it, we only looked at the trailer, some bits of gameplay here and there, and some of the latest news from the Discord and stuff, but this is a fully kind of fleshed out hour-long gameplay live stream of the real-time campaign and the battles as well. And there's a lot to look at here. It looks really good as well, their progress. So that's what we're going to get into. Let's get straight into it. This is the main menu. As you can see, you've got 5 playable factions: Prussia, Russia, Austria, the British, and the French, it looks like. And each of these come with different kind of types of armies that you can start off with. You know, you've got the Mirror at War, Observation Corps, Cossack contingent as the Russian Empire, etc. And as the Prussians, you've got these. You can modify the AI difficulty as well, I think, here, or maybe just general resource modifier. So there's lots and lots to kind of like customize here in terms of what you can start off with. And once you've chosen your faction and your chosen army, you get on the campaign, which you can see here. It looks really good. Lots of great little regions and settlements and terrain types as well. I mean, you can get into a region like Prague and have lots of rivers and forest areas and little settlements and towns to get through. You can get into maybe Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, lots of farmland. You know, there's lots of variation in terms of what kind of battles you're going to get into in each of these regions as well. But essentially, you start off on this campaign. Looks really good. When it first started off, I remember the campaign was a lot more ambitious. It was a lot more, let's do a global campaign, including the US, including America, later in time as well. And there were a lot more kind of trade and merchant economic mechanics there. But this is much more focused, and I like that. The focus is where Armchair Historian really shines, and the granularity, the detail, and personalization of each of these elements, the mechanics that we're going to go through, is where I think this game is going to really shine. So yeah, you're an army in Berlin. I think he's Frederick the Great, and he's going to expand into a region. You get to pick a region here and essentially conquer it, sort of. So that region will have an army, an enemy army HQ. You'll start on the left here. The HQ will be on the right. And the objective is to essentially traverse this entire map in this specific region, go from town to town, you know, trade weapons maybe you picked up on a battle, or I don't know, maybe you got some prisoners you want to exchange, and you want to buy some ammunition, some food to keep going, and you traverse all this through terrain and through the towns to essentially get to that HQ, defeat the army there, and then take that region. And this is a nice little cool area to look at as well. This is the division management view, where you can see you know, when it's full, it's very full, but this is the beginnings of this kind of army, and you can do anything from customize the flag, emblems, colors, the banners, the uniform colors, the types of like hats and types of uniforms that they're wearing. You can equip different types of weapons, ammunition. You can recruit new regiments and divisions. Like, there's so much you can really do here, and there's so much personalization. You can change the name of your regiments and divisions. It's just really cool. This is division view, where you get to choose your skills and etc. So it's looking really good. This is, again, pre-alpha, so there's a lot more here to do, a lot of missing artwork and bits still to be done, but it's making a lot of progress. It's really quite impressive how much they've been able to do in the last 5-6 months. So yeah, you've got this view here, and then you're basically, as I said, progressing from town to town. You've got a bit of a line of sight mechanic, which is quite cool, which changes as you're going through, let's say, swampland. It will kind of diminish and get lower. You won't be able to see as far as you can on roads or on mountains where you have a lot of elevation. You've got little caravan type nodes where you can go and engage in unique events that will give you a dilemma. You know, you can engage with this caravan. Maybe there's some manpower, some soldiers who were defeated in a battle somewhere and they want to join you, but maybe among them there's some like I don't know, saboteurs or spies. You know, there's lots of interesting little events that can pop up in that way as well. So very kind of dynamic and detailed, very cool. Just, I guess, like off the top of my head, you know, a lot of people compare it to Total War, UG American Revolution. This is a lot like that, but simpler is my kind of the way I'm seeing it. There's a lot more kind of I guess to do mechanically. There's a lot going on, but graphically it's much simpler. It reminds me a lot of Battle Brothers essentially, which is quite cool. Very similar type of game of you've got a group of people kind of traversing from one area to the next, fighting these battles, getting equipment, gaining experience and skills, and repeating that loop over and over as the difficulty grows, the AI becomes more aggressive, etc. So that's kind of what it reminds me of. But again, like compared to UG American Revolution, there's a lot going on here, which is really quite cool. There's not as much of the campaign management, economics, diplomacy, espionage side of things, cultural progression, etc. It's much more focused on having this singular army and gaining experience and skills through battles, etc., and surviving and really pushing through the challenges, the enemy armies that you're coming across, and making use of the tactical terrain around you, and specializing various divisions into artillery, cavalry, you know, infantry with grenadiers, line infantry. You know, there's just so much you can really do here to have a unique and custom army on the campaign side of things, and it looks really good. There's still a lot to do, obviously. This is pre-alpha, but from what I saw early on 5-6 months ago, there's so much progress here. It looks really, I mean, this is a gameplay showcase, and this is pre-alpha. I mean, it just looks really well done for pre-alpha at the moment. Hopefully, for me, I guess the graphics get a little crisper and more detailed, better kind of. It looks good. I think as a placeholder, it looks really good, but there's a lot more I think that can be done from a graphical perspective to fill all these out, make it just a bit more colorful and interesting as well. Yeah, I wonder also if there's like a seasonal kind of effect that these maps can have as you're going through autumn and winter and spring, etc. That could be quite interesting to see as well. So yeah. This is the campaign side of things of how the game is looking at the moment. Very cool. And then you've got the battles, and there's an actual battle coming up just now. There's a, I think this is a Austrian army coming up now against Armchair Historian's Prussian army here. They have a lot more troops there though, so this is going to be interesting. And it's a battle over this town as well. And here are the battles. So you've got the battle view here. You've got various units. And you can see the detailed uniforms that are different between each of these units, the flags, the color scheme, emblems. All of that is very different and unique from unit to unit, and it adds that personalization, that little unique connection you have with each of these units. You can have a favorite unit. You want that one to survive because you've worked so hard on getting the experience and skills for it. You've made the effort to customize and grow its kind of history of engagements and etc. So there's a lot of really nice dynamic personalization here that I like, that really essentially puts a piece of you into the game that you're playing, right? And that's really quite cool. Not a lot of strategy games do that. So yeah, this is a little battle here that he's playing. We're gonna just check out how things are looking from a UI perspective. It's very reminiscent, I would say, to Total War. The unit cards on the left side here, you've got the icons down below, the unit cards with their abilities and formations. You've got the column, square, loose formation, all for various kind of situational benefits and debuffs as well. Square for cavalry charges, low mobility, things like that. So it does look quite good from a, kind of, I guess, battle mechanics perspective. You've got the various bars here that are quite unique. You've got green for hit points, blue for morale, I think, and you've got the white, which is the reload bar, if I understand that correctly. And yeah, and then you've got the enemy AI kind of coming up against, which obviously, again, I'm going to reiterate this. This is pre-alpha. The AI clearly needs a bit more work to get into realistic and kind of actually well done formations and positioning. You've got cavalry just kind of sitting around, not really doing anything either. It looks to me like friendly fire isn't quite a mechanic in the game yet. You've got elevation in terrain that isn't quite in here yet. You've got cover as a stat on the left side here in the unit card, which I'm guessing isn't quite there yet either. Maybe you can take cover in forest terrain, behind buildings, etc. And yeah, basically, it doesn't look like any of that is quite in just yet either. So there's plenty of work to be done, but this is a playable, we're looking at real-time gameplay battles here, very reminiscent of Ultimate General, I would say. In fact, it looks a bit more dynamic and faster paced compared to Ultimate General American Revolution. There's a lot more, I think, in that one in UG that is a much larger scale, which, this can get there, absolutely, but you got to win your battles, you got to recruit to get there. With the UG American Revolution, you can start off with some really, really large battles. So, yeah, it's quite cool in terms of progression, I think, here. With the UG American Revolution, you can get quite big quite quickly. Here, you need to work your way up to larger and larger divisions, and get those skills, get those, as you can see here, use various maneuvers, abilities to really take advantage of the enemy AI's passive aggression here. Hopefully that improves, but it's looking pretty decent so far. It looks much better than where I saw it about 5-6 months ago. I think there are other battles in this live stream I want to check out and show as well. There's one where he goes into column and loose formation. Let's see here. I think it's this one actually. So you've got lots of units firing, and oh wow, yeah, lots of really cool kind of firing animations. You've got the melee charging to take out the last of this cavalry unit. You've got column formations here and there. I think they go into loose formation a little bit as well. The flanking and their effect on morale is kind of evident there. You've got, what else here? I think there is one last battle where he goes into various, here we go. So you've got the enemy actually going into formations here as well. Loose formation down there. He looks a little overwhelmed actually in this battle. This battle has a lot. He's actually losing it. You can see at the top here, the Prussian bar is going down. So he's losing. He's already lost a unit completely, and one is retreating, which is quite cool. Little kind of unit card representations of how things are being how things are progressing in the battle. This one here behind a building, but it's got no cover, as I said before. So lots still to be worked on. The battle map on the top right, missing textures here and there, but for what it is, I'm quite impressed. There's a lot that's really, really cool here. And I guess, as you can see here, he loses the battle, and when you lose a battle, guys, it's game over. You have to start again from the beginning with a new army, start with a new faction, new region, new everything. So as I said, the point of the game is to survive. It's to get through these battles, get through the challenges, grow your army, skill them up, experience, etc., and get to the end game, which I think the end game is the faction that you're really fighting against sends an army against you to really stomp you, and hopefully that will do it. But yeah, that's essentially it. This is how things are looking. Things to me are looking pretty good, for an indie game like this being developed off the back of the lessons being learned from Fire and Maneuver, the lovely firing animations. Hopefully some audio effects get put in as well to make things as immersive as possible. The personalization of the flags, emblems, banners, the cavalry units look quite good. I think there's just more work to be done. Of course, this is pre-alpha. A lot more work to be done on the animation side, the visual graphical side, mechanics that need to be polished off, fine-tuned, etc. lot more to do, but for what it is right now, I'm quite impressed and I can't wait to see where this goes. I think, this is a great new effort by Armchair Historian to move away from what he did in Fire and Maneuver and really make something unique and special against the other strategy games of this genre and in this setting, especially for, people like me who are really amping for something like an Empire 2 to come out in the future in the Total War franchise. This is a great little filler to really have something unique, interesting, special stuff that wouldn't be in an Empire 2 are present here that I quite like the look of. So I'm really looking forward to this. That's going to be it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, give it a like and drop any thoughts or questions in the comment section below and let me know what you think of Master of Command 7-Year War so far. Lots more to come, hopefully, more news out of this in the coming months, and as they do, I'll be making more videos here. So if that sounds good to you, remember to hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.